Tazhia's take one. Tazhia's take, where my perspective and my perception meet.
Cut. Take 9.
Tazhia's take, where common sense, logic, faith, and perception.
Cut.
Oh, God! Tazhia's take, my voice, my power.
Cut. Take 22.
Tazhia's take, my voice will not be silenced.
Cut, man.
Tazhia's take, she ready.
Cut.
Tazhia's take, where my mind meets y'all's matters. How about it?
Cut.
I said what I said.
Cut.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Natazhia Lashe, and I just want to first start by welcoming those back who have been watching my last couple of videos as of now. Thank you for returning, and for those that are new, thank you for joining us on today. Don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget also to comment and subscribe. After all, you know, I'm gonna have some really great content coming through, just like the new segment here, Tazhia's Take. And with that being said, we're gonna jump right into it. Today's topic of Tazhia's Take is going to be about how I identify and why. Establishing your identity. Once you've made it through the point of understanding the importance of your identity, understanding the things that can cause you to question your identity and who you are, you'll be able to kind of put all that together in order to be able to arrive to an area. Well, now that I have all this information, now I understand truly where I am at this point in time. I no longer wish to live in the past. I'm currently in the present, but being in the present, the decisions that I make now are going to affect my future. So with that being said, you've evaluated, you know, now you have to understand how to go about establishing your identity. I figured that there were 5 parts that were really, really important when it comes down to establishing your identity, wanting better for yourself, you know, understanding where things were previously and understanding yourself now, and being able to establish your identity so that way you'll be able to move forward, walking boldly, having that self-confidence, and everything that you need to be able to walk into your future, the future that you want for yourself. Those 5 points of establishing identity are self-evaluation, release, forward thinking, decision making, and faith. And the reason why I picked those 5 is because I felt like it really summed up what establishing identity is. You know, we're constantly any person that's really on a journey to self-acceptance, to be their best self, always looking to be their best self, not in a sense attempting to be perfect, but understanding that there is always a better way of doing things, self-improvement. There's nothing wrong with that. We're constantly on a journey to self-improve. Well, at least we should be, you know. Being a Christian, you die daily. We make mistakes. But that doesn't mean that those mistakes make us, in a sense, to where we become those mistakes. We make mistakes, we learn from them, or you don't learn from them, and then you continue to make those same mistakes, and the next thing you know, you have all these consequences and all these outcomes that you can't change, and there's no way to turn back, and then you find yourself back through that cycle of those traumatic experiences and those people. making you question who you are, doubt who you are, behind the decisions that you've made, you know? I feel honestly, with knowing the importance of identity and the things that make you question your identity, not being sure about those things is far from what God ever intended for us, you know? And not knowing who you are can be a scary thing. And not knowing who you are on top of those traumatic experiences, as well as those people that have those opinions, those negative opinions, that can definitely cause a lot of confusion, that can cause you a lot of fear, and a lot of pain. And I can tell you for sure that that's never what God intended for us, because he just didn't. God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. He doesn't want us to be confused. He doesn't want us to not be loved or not know how to love. And he wants us to be confident. That's literally everything that I've mentioned up until this point. And it's in the Bible. You know, that is 2 Timothy 1:7 if you want to look it up. But basically, God's telling us how to love ourselves. He's telling us what we should want for ourselves, you know? He didn't give us that. So why do we have it? Why do we have it? Why be fearful? Why be confused? Why feel powerless? We shouldn't feel those things, because he didn't give us the spirit of that. He didn't give us the spirit of fear. He gave us the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind, which means he gave us confidence. He gave us love, that self-love, and the ability to love others. And he gave us a sound mind, a mind free of confusion, a mind that is limitless, a mind that is sound, not constantly battling itself, not constantly doubting itself. And he definitely didn't give us fear. Because if you think about it, a lot of the times the reasons we make the decisions we make is because of fear. And you should never go into a decision out of fear. You should never make a decision out of fear. It's not of God. But anyway, to our third section, establishing identity. Self-evaluation, release, forward-thinking, decision-making, and faith. So with self-evaluation, I felt the basis of that would be to assist you in evaluating your past and present situations, your thought process, and pre and post decision, how they affect you and others, and ask the question of what or who influenced the decision made. Those are the things that you want to look at when you are self-evaluating. Because if you self-evaluate in that manner, you basically come around to a full circle. Not only are you making reference to yourself, the decisions that you made previously, or, you know, the people that influenced those decisions, it's basically assisting you in becoming aware of yourself, holding yourself accountable. Release. With release, you want to come to terms with past negatives and take ownership of your life. Holding yourself accountable to the fullest for present and future decisions made. So with the release, once you come to that self-evaluation of understanding those things, that influenced those decisions, those people or those things that influenced the decisions made, you'll be able to make better decisions. You'll be able to release that. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. If you need to apologize, you apologize, because you need to clear your mind. God didn't give us a clouded mind. He gave us a sound one. So clear your mind from any negativity. That's a part of self-evaluating to be able to get to the point of release. That's really, really important. You want to be able to hold yourself accountable, because a lot of people say, us being young folks, even grown folks, they want to, kids always want to grow up and be like, I want to grow up so I can do what I want to do. Or, this is the reason that happened. That is the reason that this happened. And no one ever holds themselves accountable. You can be born into a not so great situation. You didn't ask to be here. You didn't ask to be here. Through that first couple years of life, as well as into teenhood, you do have to rely on someone to take care of you to a certain extent. A lot of things happen in families. A lot of kids are brought into negative situations. And as a result, they grow up and they find themselves in the same cycles that they were born into. And a lot of it, what they do, they tend to blame their parents. They tend to blame their situations that they were born into, things that they didn't ask for. And I'm not going to say that that's totally wrong. My motto has always been, when it comes down to that, you can't be 52 still blaming the people that brought you into the situation. At some point, you have to hold yourself accountable for the actions that you make. You have to take a hold of your life. Hold yourself accountable for how you move forward. Just because you were born into a negative situation doesn't mean you're destined to be there forever. Point is, you have the opportunity to get an understanding as to, okay, how did I arrive here? I didn't ask to be here, but how did I arrive here? Once you get to that point, if you really are observing, you'll be able to understand the changes that need to be made so that way you can put yourself in a better situation. But if you never hold yourself accountable, then there's always going to be somebody else that's in control of your life. And us as kids, I've never said it. You can ask my parents, but I've never said it. But you find yourself as a kid always wanting to grow up. It's like, I can't wait to grow up to do what I want to do. Are you really doing what you want to do if you're influenced or you're not taking accountability for your actions? Are you really in control? Are you really in control if you're living your life, you're in your 50s and you're still blaming your parents or whatever the situation is that you were brought into? No. And guess what? You just wasted 52 years of your life in the past when you should have been in the future. You'd probably be light years ahead if you realize the importance of accountability of your own life at a certain point. You'd probably be light years ahead. But you spend your time stuck in the past. That's why you have to be able to self-evaluate so that way you can release it. Get rid of that pain. Get rid of that clouded mind. Ask for forgiveness for areas that you should ask for forgiveness. You be the better person. And even if you don't get the apologies that you need to be able to move forward, come to terms with it. Forgive yourself. Give yourself that so you can move on. So you can release it. Hold yourself accountable for your present and future. So that way you can be that better person and you can be a lot more free from all that hurt, all that pain, all those things that made you doubt who you were. That's the importance of a self-evaluating so you can release. Take that ownership of your life. Take ownership. Which brings us to forward thinking. Picture yourself 5 to 20 years ahead and try to look at what decisions you need to make now to get there. I'm not saying live in the future, because that's not good either. You living in the future, then life in this present state is passing you by, and you're not being appreciative for what is happening in the now. And who says that you'll ever arrive to that future thing if you don't take action in the present to be able to make that happen? You got to be able to sort through those things. Forward thinking. Like I said, picture yourself where you want to be. Understand that it may not happen overnight, but once you get to that point of understanding where you want to be, you can backtrack back to now in order to get an understanding of maybe if this is me. Just like they asked the question, if you could tell your 14-year-old self one thing, what would you tell them, or what would you do differently? If what could you have done differently if you know how things were now? Beat yourself to asking that question by skipping ahead a few years and thinking back to now and saying, okay, well, what steps do I need to take now in the present to be able to get there to that future, to that point in life where I see myself. Now, don't stay there. Once you get that written down, write it down, make it plain. Write it down, make it plain. That's in the book too. Write it down and make it plain. And take them to the Lord. Take them to Him, as He's the only one that can establish them for you, at least assist you in that. Which brings us to the point of decision making. You want to make those decisions your future self would be proud of without the negative influences that cause negative outcomes of your past self. Which basically means that once you arrived, you went through the process of self-evaluation, you went through the process of release, you feel renewed, you feel regenerated, you feel less cloudy, you feel like you're definitely starting to get that confidence about yourself that identity brings. You've gotten where you want to be. You've thought it through. You wrote it down. You made it plain. Now you arrive to the point of the decision making. Understanding the importance of making the decisions in the now. Make better decisions now, so that way you don't find yourself repeating your past. Do it differently. Do it differently, because this is the present. You have the opportunity to do things differently, because the goal is to get to that future self. We're always working to try to be better than the day we were before. We all should be. Anyways, we all should be. It's all about self-improvement. We're not striving for perfection. We're not perfect. We die daily. So I feel like, especially when you're a Christian, you die daily, We make mistakes every day. We're not perfect. We're human. We're brought into the world flawed. We're born into the world of sin, So that doesn't mean you're destined to be there forever. You have the opportunity, with the help of God, of course, the guidance of Him, if you'll have Him, to be able to, see yourself through that. But like I said, make those decisions your future self would be proud of without the negative influences that cause the negative outcomes of your past self. Once you make those better decisions, you'll start to see yourself getting closer and closer to the person that you want to be. And let me tell you, once you get there, don't fret. Don't go backwards. Don't go backwards. And don't let those people, don't get back to the state of letting those people cause you to doubt yourself. Because people will tell you, so you brand new now. Why you acting brand new? Oh, she thinks she all that now because of this, that, and the other. Oh, she this. Oh, she that. They'll do that to you, and they'll try to make you. Well, you know she used to do this. They'll try to bring all that stuff back up to your memory. You know, they try to bring it back up to remembrance for you. So that's the importance of establishing and having a strong circle and not subjecting yourself to those environments, those stressful environments. Don't go backwards. Don't allow anyone to shake you. In a sense, especially once you've gotten to that point of being certain of yourself. Because they will try, trust me, they will try. So like I said, once you make it down to that decision making, make those decisions to get you to where that forward thinking got you. And then of course you got your faith. You got your faith. You want to stay grounded. Stay grounded. The best way of being able to do that is, like I said, take your plans before the Lord. Having a strong personal relationship with Him will keep you grounded. Because let me tell you something, if you don't have any belief, if you don't have any belief, then what are you doing any of this for? If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe, then how are you going to ever be able to obtain anything if you don't believe you can? You won't, because you're defeated before you even get started. Faith is key. I say faith is key in staying grounded. Seek first the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and He'll give you everything that you need. He'll give you everything that you need. Everything I mentioned about this whole identity thing, He'll give you all of that, then some, if you keep the faith, if you believe, if you seek Him. And that scripture is quoted so much, but they leave out the most important part. Live righteously. Seek first the kingdom and all else will follow. But you got to live righteously. And, that doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Like I said, we're all human. You don't have to be perfect. It just means that you have to strive to be your best self. Strive to be your best self. Do the right thing. Do the next right thing. Life is nothing but a bunch of decision making. Your goal is to always do the next right thing. That doesn't mean you actually will, because sometimes you'll mess up. Ask for forgiveness and move on. Don't allow anyone to try to take you back to that place of where you came from. Because after all, you're not that person anymore, right? You brand new. And because they ain't brand new with you, they hating. Okay? Don't take it personal. Like I said, when they go low, you go high. Same for me. I do the same. It's gonna happen like that. So yeah, don't even worry about it. That's how you know that you're pretty certain of yourself. When you come back quick with your answer, or when it comes down to, well, why is it that they doing this and that and the other? Why they treat me like that now? Why is it this? Why is that? For me, the answer's simple. They hating. Honey, because look, when you learn better, you do better. That's just the truth of the matter. Also, they probably just hating because it's on a spiritual level, honey. It's the God in me. It's the God in me. Hey, it's the God in me. Yeah. Y'all should go hear that song. That song go hard. But it basically it's the exact thing in which I'm referencing right now. You don't know how much I prayed. You don't know. It's the God in me. But I say all those things. I really do hope that you guys had the opportunity to take away something from today that helps you, because I'm all about I love to see other people win, and that's how you also know that you've gotten to a place to where you understand how you identify, you understand who you are, because if somebody else comes along and they doing good, you know, they doing real good, and you can congratulate them, compliment them, you can do these things and not be jealous. You can do this and you can cheer them on. You don't want it, honey. Hey, you good. Because that's another thing. People, they have a sense of doing those things as well. You know, it's all well and good as long as you guys are on the same level. But, you know, once you make it off that, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Be happy. Compliment the next person. Don't try to condescend, talk down on. It ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. Comments, what were some of your takeaways from today's Tazhia's Take? And you know, also I'd love to hear from you. What are some things that you feel can be added? Or what's your take on my take? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I enjoyed you. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time on Tazhia's Take. Oh, and don't forget, somebody's gotta be the salt of the light, so why not let it be me and you? Let's misfit together. Deuces.